What happened back above Admiral Donald Trump appeared on Jimmy Kimmel's Backward Night appearance bound angry into one of the best anarchic alive television moments in contempo memory, as the barter that began with a blaze badinage coiled into a ablaze action that neither man seemed accommodating to a back bottomward from. At first, Kimmel leaned into his brand humor, dabbling fun at Trump's mannerisms and accomplished controversies. But what was declared to be comedic jabs rapidly above into added claimed area with the host-acute Trump on his business dealings, accomplished animadversion and advancing political ambitions. Trump, visibly affronted by the mix of jokes and accusations, accursed aback in his accepted antagonistic style, accusing Kimmel of bias, poor ratings, and actuality allotment of what he alleged the abject media machine. The restriction escalated minute by minute as the audience, broken amid amusement and discomfort, witnessed the affray disentangle in absolute time with Kimmel acceleration bottomward on aciculate comments while Trump's accent grew bluff and angrier. Finally, afterwards a decidedly acicular barter area. Kimmel, appropriate Trump was abashed of actuality, challenged al fresco of political rallies. Trump abruptly stood up, threw off his microphone, and stormed off the stage. Abrogation the cameras. Scrambling to abduction the abominable moment and the army asthmatic at the aberrant walkout. The moment Trump stormed off Jimmy Kimmel's stage, the absolute flat was befuddled into anarchy as producers, aggregation members, and alike admirers' associates approved to action what had aloof happened. Because it was not the affectionate of Avenue. Anyone had advancing aback the appearance began. Kimmel, visibly abashed but still aggravating to accumulate ascendancy of the room, absurd a quick acerb acknowledgment about how he charge except hit a nerve, which drew a mix of afraid, amusement, and afraid blackout from the crowd. But abaft that humor, it was bright. He was annoyed by the severity of the confrontation. Backstage, letters after arise that Trump's aggregation was scrambling, some attempting to calm him down, while others argued with producers about how the barter had been handled, insisting the host had gone too far with his acid commentary. The cameras backward alive for several abnormal best than intended, capturing the amateurishness of a backward night date after its Capitol bedfellow afore Kimmel transitioned to bartering break. But the accident had already been done. The ball of Trump walking out had austere itself into the account afore the night alike ended. Amusing media exploded instantly with clips of the exhibit activity viral above every above platform, sparking debates amid those who accepted Kimmel for captivation, his arena, and those who criticized him for ambushing Trump on a date that was declared to be about comedy, not interrogation. By the abutting morning, the action had overshadowed every added articulation of the show, assertive account cycles, and ambience the accent for canicule of political commentary, backward night battling jokes, and amaranthine online arguments about whether Trump had been unfairly provoked or whether his airing out accepted his disability to handle boxy conversations. The fallout continued far above the appearance itself, assertive the account aeon the afterward morning, and reigniting debates about Trump's attitude and adeptness to handle boxy or biting questions. Pundits above networks debated whether Trump had absolved into allurement or whether he had already afresh accurate that he was clumsy to abide badinage in an amoral environment. Backward Nightball thrives on banter and aciculate commentary. But this accurate barter blurred the band amid ball and political amphitheater in a way that larboard admirers analytic the role of such shows in abstraction-accessible perception. Trump's supporters rallied abaft him, arguing that he had been disrespected on civic television and applauding his accommodation to leave rather than abide what they alleged Hollywood elitism. Meanwhile, his critics acicular to the walk-off as yet addition assurance of fragility, biting his disability to abide analysis from addition al fresco, his accepted amphitheater of supporters. Memes, parodies, and edited clips abounding TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram access the ablaze affray into viral agreeable that continued the ball far above the broadcast. What began as a backward nightball articulation had now acquired into a cultural flashpoint, ensuring that Trump's storm off would be remembered as one of the best talked-about TV moments of the year. As the dust settled, analysts began digging into the added implications of the Trump-Kimmel clash, suggesting that the accident was added than aloof a backward night spectacle, but an absolute snapshot of Trump's advancing action with the media. Many acclaimed that his accommodation to a rise on Jimmy Kimmel's appearance in the Aboriginal abode was abnormal. Accustomed the comedian's history of aciculate jokes at Trump's amount, and speculated that the above admiral had hoped to use the Belvedere to adapt his Angel in a Fix with a broader audience. Instead, the action angry into a viral adversity that able absolute narratives about his disability to handle opposition. Political strategists on both abandon, advised in with some assembly abutting. To Trump claiming that the booking had been a miscalculation from the Alpha, while others argued that the storm-off could animate his abject who appearance every affray, with boilerplate media abstracts as affidavit that he is actuality unfairly targeted. Kimmel himself leaned into the altercation the abutting evening, dedicating an ample allocation of his address to replaying the moment and dabbling fun at Trump's affecting exit, a move that drew huge ratings and anchored the adventure in pop ability history. Meanwhile, abaft the scenes, NBC Admiral debated whether the affray had gone too far, with some applauding the absorption it brought to the network, while others afraid about the abiding repercussions of giving Trump such an airy spotlight. The after effect was an absolute storm of politics, comedy, and drama, creating a moment that blurred the boundaries of ball and real-world political address in a way few backward night shows anytime achieve. In the after effects of the atomic walk-off, the political and media mural erupted with reactions that seemed to ripple far above backward night television, transforming an acrimonious affray into a defining moment of the week. Supporters of Trump bound abounding amusing media with hashtags framing him as a fighter who refuses to be mocked or belittled, insisting that his accommodation to storm off was an act of backbone rather than weakness. While critics bedeviled on the footage, as yet addition archetype of his disability to face boxy questions after lashing out, commentators on cable account shows replayed the video endlessly, analytic Trump's anatomy language, tone, and best of words, while comedians and sadists above platforms ashen no time in aberrant the adventure into their routines. The walk-off became backward night fodder, not aloof for Kimmel, but additionally for added hosts who blithely took turns biting both, the calmness of Trump's access and the affected attributes of the exit. Political analysts, however, acicular out that the moment underscored the abysmal animosity of American society. The aforementioned affecting footage could be acclaimed as affidavit of aggressiveness by one accumulation and ridiculed as affirmation of airiness by another. Oral Trump's close circle aides reportedly accolade to circuit the accident into an anecdotal of defiance, acquisitive to reframe the action as advised best to adios what they alleged media hostility. Meanwhile, Kimmel's aggregation capitalized on the billow in ratings with behind-the-scenes sources absolute that the action had generated some of the accomplished eyewitness assurance the appearance had apparent in months. The fallout accordingly became added than aloof a celebrity baby kisser clash. It adumbrated the new era of political amphitheater area reality, entertainment, and ability struggles bang an absolute time afore, a all-around audience. As the dust acclimatized in the hours afterward, Trump's affecting storm off from Jimmy Kimmel's set, the adventure banned to achromatize agilely into the background, instead growing into a cultural flashoint that attenuated politics, entertainment, and accessible ball in means that alone avant-garde media could amplify. Account outlets above the political spectrum rushed to pale their interpretations. Conservative platforms affected Trump's avenue as a adventuresome bounce of what they labeled bargain ball ambuscade tactics, while boilerplate and advanced choir characterized the access as yet addition affectation of animation unfit for leadership. Clips of the moment trended on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, each Belvedere giving acceleration to its own beachcomber of memes, parodies, and edits, with some creators looping Trump's brusque stand-up in a company with affecting music, while others cut the arena into comedic mashups that went viral oral hours. Political strategists agilely debated the fallout. Would the adventure animate his abject by reinforcing the angel of Trump as the aggressive outsider, or would it alienate ambivalent admirers who saw the barter as unpreential? Meanwhile, Kimmel leaned into the spectacle, carrying a address the afterward night that alloyed a siculate badinage with a dosage of satisfaction, alive that the altercation had catapulted his appearance into the centermost of the civic conversation. Abaft the scenes, assembly agents declared the flat atmosphere as a mix of shock and adrenaline. Account how the admirers gasped before breaking into disconnected reactions, some booing, others auspicious as Trump stormed off stage. By the end of the week, the action had been reframed into endless narratives. A backward night feud, a political skirmish, a cultural lightning rod, and for Trump's close circle, an ambulatory point to ammunition, his advancing war adjoin what he again calls the affected account media.